I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. This is Shabai from the GMS Denver camp. And today, through the Spirit, I'm going to read Revelation, the 6th chapter. All right. I'll give you an understanding on Revelation, the 6th chapter. Excuse me. It says the first, in the blue letter, the title, it says the first seal rider on white horse. It says, and I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering to conquer. Okay. And this is dealing with our Lord Yahushai. All right. The white horse is a symbolic representation of a chariot, what you call what you ignorantly call a UFO. It's a chariot. Okay. And it says it was given to him, unto him who went forth conquering and to conquer. Right? Let me see. And it's because our Lord Yahushua, when he comes back, he's bringing the sword, right? It tells you that in Matthew 10 and 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. So that's why you read Revelation 6, and it says that he was conquering and to conquer. Okay. Let me grab Isaiah 63 and 1. Who is it that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Bozrah? Is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength, that I speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Okay? And that's what it is. And it's traveling in the greatness, dealing with, and it says glorious in his apparel. Because when Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai comes back and visits the earth, brings that sword upon the earth, you know, he's going to be coming back with power and great glory, right? Let's read it right here. Matthew 24 and 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Okay? So the chariots, what you call UFOs, they're going to come back to gather the elect, and then also to bring war upon the heathen nations. You know? Starting out with Babylon, America. Okay? So let's go to Revelation 6 and and 3. It says, and when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. All right, and this is talking about Esau, the so-called white man, who's actually a red man, right? Precept that in Genesis 25. It says, Genesis 25 and 30, and Esau said to Jacob, "Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint." Therefore was his name called Edom. So he ate that uncooked meat, that red pottage. It was red because it wasn't cooked thoroughly. You can still see the blood. You still had the blood, in the meat. It wasn't cooked, and that's why his name was changed from Esau. He was always Esau, but they called him Edom, the Edomites, right? So Edom in the Hebrew, it means red, okay? And I don't have the blue letter right here, but if you go to the Blue Letter Bible and you pull up the word Edom, it tells you that it means red in Hebrew. So we go back to Revelation 6. And says, and there went out, verse 4, and there went out a horse that was red, and power was given to him, and sat thereon to take peace from the earth, that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And that's another clue that shows you that it's talking about the Edomites. All right, that red horse, because what is the Edomite's blessing? His blessing is the sword, okay? It tells you that in Genesis, let's see, Genesis, is it 37 or 27? 27, 40. Yeah. When Esau got his blessing, right? We'll start at 38. Genesis 27 and 38. And Esau said unto his father, who was Isaac, who was his father, "Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, "Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth," meaning they'll live in the best places of the earth, "and the dew of the heaven from above, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck." All right, so the point being is that he would live by the sword, and that was his blessing. That's his blessing, is the sword, okay? So let's go to Revelation 6 and 5. It says, "And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, Come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine." All right, and this is this black horse. It represents judgment and also, judgment and death, right? And this is all the judgments that are coming to Babylon, America, okay? And one of those judgments is going to be a famine. That's why you're going to have to, it says a measure of wheat for a penny. So it's talking about you're going to get like a loaf of bread for a penny, which a penny, I believe it was the Roman Empire, they called it a penny, which was a day's worth of wages. So let's say you make $200 a day. That's going to be, the comparison here is like a famine, because the bread is so expensive. It's going to be a whole day's wage just for some bread, right? And this is part of the judgments that's coming to Babylon, America. And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that was on him was Death. And he followed with him, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Right? And this is going into the plagues and the destruction and the famine, all the judgment that's coming to the earth, namely Babylon, America. Right? It says, "And when he had opened the fifth seal, and I saw the altar of the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High, and for the testimony, which they held." And the slain that you were reading about right here is talking about the prophets who have already died, who are already in the spirit world. Okay? And it says, "For the word of the Most High," right? For their testimony. "And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth?" Right? Because Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai are going to come with vengeance, right? Which vengeance, it basically goes into, let me grab it right here. Vengeance definition: punishment inflicted or retribution exacted for any wrong or injury. Right? And let's go to avenge. Let's get the word avenge, because it's pretty much the same thing. Avenge definition: to inflict harm in return for an injury or wrong done to oneself or another. Inflict harm on behalf of oneself or someone else previously wronged or harmed. You see? So Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai are going to come back with the spirits of vengeance, right? Oh, let's get that preset real quick. In Ecclesiasticus, okay, let's go with Ecclesiasticus, aka Sirach. Because you got to understand that the spirit of vengeance is going to be in the missiles, okay, the nuclear missiles. Ecclesiasticus 39 and 28, and it reads, let's see. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force, and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail, and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Okay? So, that fire and that hail, because it's going to be, those missiles are going to come down from the atmosphere, because a missile, the projectile of the nuclear missiles, they leave their the silo, they go into the heavens, and then they leave the atmosphere for a moment, and then they come back into the atmosphere, and they fall down like hail, right? Fire and hail, and then when they impact, it's just destruction, a besom of destruction. A wind of destruction, and they're created for vengeance, because the missiles are basically, let's see, they're going to happen on the behalf of the the vengeance is. How can I put this? Basically, they're going to inflict harm on the non-elect, which are the 2/3 of Israel, and also the wicked, and also the heathen. they're gonna inflict harm on everybody except for if you're of the elect, you're going to go up in a chariot, right? That's what salvation is. But if you're not of the elect and you're on the planet Earth, when the missiles are shot, those are going to be used as vengeance on you. You know? And let me read that word. To avenge is inflict harm on behalf of someone else previously wronged or harmed. And who has everybody wronged or harmed is the elect. All right, so those missiles are actually, you know, they have the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai in them, which is a spirit of vengeance and a spirit of a consuming fire. And it tells you in Hebrews, I'm trying to remember. Hebrews 9, maybe? No, that's not it. Let me see. Hebrews 12:29 says, very last verse, for our power Yahweh is a consuming fire. You see? And that's what those missiles are going to be. They're going to be a consuming fire. Vengeance, basically a payback, if you will, for the elect. For the martyrs of the elect, you know, for the prophets that have been put to death for the testimony of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, okay? And let's see. And we read what those spirits of vengeance are in Ecclesiasticus, right? Let's see. Spirits created for vengeance. Oh, shoot. Hold up. Spirits created for vengeance. Okay. Verse 7, it says, and when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name was that sat on him was Death. And hell followed with him, and the power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth. Talking about Esau's portion of the earth. To kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. All right, and we read the spirits of vengeance. Those are all going to be, let me see, let me go to the, remember, the spirits of vengeance are fire, hail, famine, and death. All these were created for vengeance, right? So that's what we're reading about. To kill with the sword, the hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High, and for the testimony which they held. Talking about the prophets, you know, prophets who are in the spirit world, prophets who have been killed for their testimony of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And they cried aloud, saying, how long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants also their brethren, and their brethren that should be killed as they were, should be fulfilled. Because we know that there's going to be, some of us are going to be put to death for the testimony of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You know, we know that, you know, there's going to be certain brothers that, because they don't take that MOTB, that they're going to be martyred by way of the guillotine, right? Because that's the vision that John the Revelator saw. He saw the the prophets being decapitated, but they were remaining faithful and true unto the end, even in that situation. You get caught up, when the MOTB is made mandatory, and you refuse to take that micro C-hip. There's going to be a day and a point in time where you're going to be that's going to be punishable by death. And there's going to be men who endure that punishment and who rather take the punishment rather than taking that MOTB, the mark of the beast. All right, Revelation 20:4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Yahushua Mashiach 1,000 years. You see that? So there's going to be men who are going to be beheaded for our testimony, because we don't worship the beast. We didn't take the mark. Okay. That's why in Revelation 6 that's what it's talking about. Let's go back to it. Salakia. That's why it says, and white robes were given unto every one of them. And the white robe is the pureness, because when you get a white garment, you're wearing a white garment, just like at the crowning ceremony that you can read about in in Second Esdras. When you go to Second Esdras 6, talks about the crowning ceremony. Let me see. Bear with me. When you go to the crowning ceremony, is actually Second Esdras 2. I always get those two mixed up, 2 and 6. So you read about the crowning ceremony, and the men who are wearing those white garments, those white robes, talking about the elect. The 144,000, the prophets, okay? And that, the elect are... First of all, you have the elect, which is all of Israel. Then you have the elect of the elect, which is the 1/3 of Israel. Then you have the elect of the elect, which is the prophets, who are the men who set the standard, who are the men who learned that song that talks about in Revelation 14, right? The 144,000. That's who these white robes were given to. And it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants, also their brethren, that should be killed as they were, should be fulfilled. And I beheld, and he opened the sixth seal, and lo, was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. Okay, and this is dealing with that destruction. And the stars of heaven fell into the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And that wind is dealing with the destruction, right? Tells you in Revelation 7. Let's read that real quick in verse 1. And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, and that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on any sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power Yahweh in their foreheads. Okay, and that wind, like I say, the 4 winds, dealing with the destructions, all the armies, the wind is going into that destruction. When you look at you look into like you Google or a nuclear missile, being tested, or you watch the images or a video of a nuclear missile going off, you see that besom of destruction, right? Which like a sweeping wind that destroys everything in its path. Okay? And that's what it is, okay? And the heaven departed as a scroll when it's rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. All right, and that heaven departed as a scroll. Also, if you Google that, like a nuclear explosion, you see that the mushroom cloud, right? And when it's in the skies, it's in the heavens, and it departs. It looks like a scroll being rolled up. All right, go Google a video of a nuclear bomb, being detonated, it appears as a scroll in heaven, being rolled together. It says, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places, because the power of that nuclear destruction, the power of those winds from those nuclear missiles, right? You're going to have mountains and islands moved out of their places. It tells you that the earth shall shake like a drunkard. Let's get that real quick. The earth shall shake like a drunkard. And what's going to cause the earth to shake is those nuclear missiles, the impact, the power, the destruction of the nuclear missiles. Isaiah 24:20, it says, the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. Okay? So, it's talking about this powerful besom of destruction. I might as well get that verse too, because I keep saying it. Besom of destruction, KJV. Okay. Oh, I should have known where that was at. Isaiah 14:23. It says, I will also make it a possession for the bittern, and the pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, saith Yahweh of hosts. All right? And like I tell you, when you go Google a video of a nuclear missile, it basically, it's that sweeping motion, that wind that, like I say, destroys everything in its path. Okay. So lucky. I'm going to turn that ringer off next time. So Revelation 6 and where am I at? Revelation 6 and (13) And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. All right, and what he saw, it looked like stars falling from heaven, but it was actually those missiles, because like I say, they go up into the atmosphere and then they come right back down onto the earth, and they look like falling stars. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it's rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. All right, and we read in Isaiah how it's going to shake like a drunkard, the earth. And also the mushroom cloud, right? And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. This is dealing with wicked elite, the elect the elite, not the elect, the elite of Esau Edom. The men who are, have the wealth and the money to buy, who own these underground bunkers. They're going to run to their bunkers during these times of destruction, because they know they're going to, send missiles, to the ends of the earth, like it tells you in 2nd Esdras 16. Let's grab that real quick. 2nd Esdras 16 and 2nd Esdras 16 and 13, it says, "For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world." Okay? So those arrows that are shooting to the ends of the world are those missiles. A regular bow and arrow, you can't shoot that to the ends of the world. It says, "Behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth." Talking about the missiles. "The fire is kindled, and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth." Okay? And remember that word "consume" goes into consumed by fire. The fire is not going to be put out until it consumed the foundation of the earth. Okay? Talking about the missiles, the nuclear destruction. Alright? And remember, Yahweh B'Shem Yoshai, the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yoshai is going to be in those missiles, a spirit of vengeance. And he's basically avenging his elect by destroying Esau and his kingdom, along with, everybody else that's, everybody, the wicked, the 2/3, they're all going to get destroyed by those missiles. You Israelites who fail to incline your ear to the prophets, you're going to be destroyed right along with the heathen. Okay? Because you don't believe in Yahweh B'Shem Yoshai. You want to stay in all the madness, all the lies, all the idolatry you've been taught. You want to hold on to that instead of repenting and coming into the fold that you are an Israelite and that you are a holy people, and you belong to Yahweh B'Shem Yoshai, right? Not these heathen gods and these heathen idols, these heathen doctrines that you follow. You're going to be destroyed for your rejection of the Lord and his servants, his prophets. You reject the truth. Revelation 6. "And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains." And they're going to hide themselves in those underground bunkers. "And said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb." Who's the Lamb? Yahweh Shai. "For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand?" And the only ones that can be able to stand in that day are the ones who are of the elect, who are going to go up in a chariot, what you call a UFO. It's going to be our salvation. We're going to go up in the chariot, and we're going to watch the destruction happen from, we're going to have a front row seat in the chariot and watch it as we have those new bodies. And verse 16, it says, "And said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb." So your elite, your wicked elite, these rich-ass people that have these bunkers, these wealthy people that are, going to go hide in the bunkers, they're going to be so terrified of the Lamb, which is Yahweh Shai, that they're going to prefer that the rocks fall on them, the mountains and the rocks fall on them. They'd rather be collapsed in a mountain and a rock than to deal with Yahweh Shai. That's how much terror and how much, they're going to be shitting their pants, basically. Seeing they'd rather deal with that, be killed by, crushed by a mountain and rocks, than deal with the wrath of Yahweh Shai, which is the Lamb. All right. So with that, I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Kudash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of GMS for teaching me the truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akim who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to the elect. Shalom.